Well, here we are again. It's another Sunday. If you're Irish, you'll be familiar. It's wet and it's windy, which is all that ever is anytime you ever want to do anything with your car, ever, if you don't have a garage like I don't. Nevertheless, going to try and do a little bit today. Nothing too serious, just something to keep us occupied on a Sunday. So you've probably seen I've done a few bits before with the bodywork, just detarring it, and what was that? Fallout remover and some stuff like that. I was still left with some marks on the body. Not that this car will ever be perfect, but I'd like it to be a bit more perfect than it is. You can't really see through the rain here. Maybe there's some on the other side. Yeah, all this type of kind of stuff here. Those little spots still haven't come off, so I'm going to try and deal with those today. There's that beautiful wind. Again, I'm going to try and do it on a budget, not spend a whole lot of money, but still try and not fuck it up too badly, and see how I get on. So what did I do? I called my motor facturers. I said I'd like a clay bar, and I wasn't too pushed after that. Ended up with this. It says it's fine, which I assume is good for not making a balls of things. There it is. A few other basic things. I did wash the car and dry it, but then actually thought it was better off not dried, so the good Lord did oblige and he rained on it for me, which is always good. Got a bucket of soapy water. I made up this spray bottle of stuff here just to lubricate the clay bar. It's a mix of Demon Shine and VW's own brand wash and wax, which I'm sure is great stuff. So this actually sprays on really well, and I think should be good for doing small little areas at a time. See, it just kind of sprays on a thick, slightly foamy coating, which should be ideal for doing some claying. So I think I'm just going to spray up maybe half the roof, because the roof is quite small, try and clay that bit, and then just move on from there and see how we get on. So, just got a very smallish piece of clay in my very soapy hand, and I'm just going to rub it back and forth on the roof. It's a nice, clean piece, new piece, and we'll just see how I get on with it. Might be good, might be shit, I don't know. Another thing that might be interesting about this is just to see how the clay gets on some different surfaces, like all the sun cream or hand cream print marks, and I know some of the other side of the car was painted previously and stuff like that, just to see how it all fares out and what sort of damage, if any, it does. But I'm just going to go balls deep into this and just see how we get on. Already start to see some little bits of dirt being picked up. What I can actually see, that maybe the camera can't, is that it's actually like an eraser. It's nearly rubbing out these marks for me. If we look at those, we do a couple of quick passes. They're not quite gone yet, but they are rapidly disappearing. So I'm just going to crack on with that for a little while and see how I go. So I've went along and done exactly half the roof panel. You can kind of see where the water's still beating and where it's all messed up from being clayed. I think it's done a really good job. See, all those little black dots are gone, which is really good. I know some say the roof is the cleanest panel, and I probably would agree with that, but even looking at that, it's a reasonable amount of dirt. Those little spots on the clay bar, so I think it's time to fold that over probably and go again. Doesn't feel gritty, but you know, probably is. And not that the paintwork will ever be perfect on this, but you don't want to do any unnecessary, I suppose, harm. So I'm really pleased with what's come off there. I'm going to work away, do the other half, rinse it off, and maybe see how it looks when it's dry. Well, went over the entire roof. I'm not sure if any of this looks any different on camera, but I'm really pleased with it. Went over the entire roof. All the little black spots are gone. Just went along the top of the boot lid. I went along the roof line here, the A and the C pillars. I think it really really good example of it might be somewhere like here. You can see I've come down the C-pillar as far as this body line. You can see all these little black spots and imperfections the whole way along. I've been around a good bit of the car now. Really happy with how it's turning out. If we go up to the roof, you can see a piece of dirt that must have blown in the wind. Still some marks and damage and chips on the roof, but like all those little black spots are all completely gone. I've just been sort of along the roof line, the A pillar down to the C pillar. This is a good example. I think you can see where I've come down the C pillar, nothing, everything's nice and clean. And when you get back to the bodywork here on the top of the wing, you can see all these little pieces of contaminant that do pull out. So at the moment, done the roof, done the boot lid and the spoiler for what it's worth. Rest of the tailgate, the rear bumper. This side is not done yet, as you can tell from the little spots there. I have done the bonnet, front bumper. I'm just finished going down along this side now, and as you can see, that's just off the rear quarter, nothing else. It's a huge amount of, I don't know, shit on this car really, but it is cleaning up really good. This piece here is just the driver's door and nowhere else. You can really see, even in the soap that I used to lubricate it, the soap is kind of brown. I don't know if that's from maybe not doing a perfect job detarring it the last day, I don't know. But really, that's definitely been the worst panel on the car so far. Just that door. Oh my goodness. Really happy to have that done. Just the rear quarter to go now, and we'll see how it looks. So I just try and get a quick shot of the movement I use. I don't have any complaining about techniques because I don't have one. I think it's just short, sharp movements, a bit like that. Making sure to keep it nice and soapy. And there we are. So that's it. I've kind of went around, clayed the whole car, used maybe a little over a quarter of that clay bar, but I think it is a particularly big one. Then I just kind of went back at it, soaped it all up, rinsed it off once more. And that is what we're left with. I know I'm forever saying this. I don't know what it looks like on camera, but in real life it looks a whole lot better. I mean, to feel it, the paint feels smooth now. If you run your hand along it, it just feels like glass. So the only things left in the car now really are these handprints, all the way along there, some scratches here, and that's kind of the worst of the bodywork. I have to excuse the really severe wind, but if I didn't record when there was no wind, I'd never record again. You can really see, I think this side kind of came up the best. Like, that's not polished, there's nothing on that at the moment, and look at that reflection in the car. Really happy with that. I don't know if you're supposed to, or if it's good or bad for it. I've done the glass, I've done everything in the end. And I have to say, I think it's really come up a treat. The problem I find with everything you do with the car now, it kind of shows up the defects you still have worse and worse, like the front valance there still needs to be sorted. Really waiting for a good day to take that bumper off and start tidying that up. There is a couple of little dents around it, and I did see maybe find some more areas of the car that have had bodywork than I thought. Maybe like down here. You can see along painted. And then I just seen some further down, I think it was somewhere around here. Oh yeah, it's all kind of crisp and flaky here. You can see the outline of that. Just on this rear quarter here, where the spoiler is actually been eating into the rear quarter. Generally, if we just go like that and cover up the spoiler, really happy with how that looks. So that's it, another little update. Have it ready to drive to work tomorrow. Gonna rest up the Golf again this week. Still married to the 1.2 Micra. I think it's either because it's 1.2 or because it's red, I don't know. But dropping the price doesn't seem to sell it, so I just don't know what's going on there. Gonna take this guy for a rip to work this week. I'm only working Monday and Tuesday and have the end of the week off, so might try and do another bit of video making. I'll see how things go. But in the meantime, just look at that. Really happy.